Hello, good morning everybody. Welcome to my channel. My name is Chrissy and today I'll be giving you a prediction reading for the 19th of October. Now, firstly, I just want to say hi to all my subscribers out there. Thank you so much for watching my channel. I really appreciate it. I love the fact that you guys comment and we have little interactions down below. It's just brilliant. So feel free, anyone new, to comment as well. Hit those like buttons, guys, and please don't forget to subscribe. Hit the little bell notification as well, and that lets you know my videos pop up. So I'm going to close my eyes and we'll get started and we'll see what comes up. Oh, and just one little thing. Did you guys, I don't know, I know a lot of you watch Carl Vernon out there. He actually, remember ages ago, I think I talked about 2 or 3 times about these big billboards that were going to be coming out with all messages, and it was going to be about you. They were going to use the messages like you, with you, directing it at the people. The subliminal, or not really subliminal, I suppose posters are pretty obvious. But Carl Vernon's got a video now about these big, the big signs, like the big billboards and things. So I thought that was interesting. Apparently this is going on in a lot of different places. He's in the UK, isn't he? So this is happening, the big billboards of all the messages. One was about, the one he had on was about the Rolex watch. Don't wear the Rolex watch or something in it. Maybe go check it out. I'll have to go and watch it myself. I haven't seen it as yet. I just saw him briefly talking about it on one of his chats. So go check that out. The billboards, it's obviously happening. They're getting the messages out into the people's faces. Oh, how's all the clever wording and mind manipulation? It just goes on and on. It's actually pretty funny to watch all this unfolding, really, isn't it? As scary as it can be. Okay, enough of my yapping. Let's get on and see what comes up for the 19th of October. Oh no. God, yesterday I was talking about these government elites and that trying to herd the cattle, meaning the little people, and the people waking up trying to herd them back into the cattle yard. But it is showing me these people kind of getting pushed back in. So people are starting to, not completely, but they're starting to get a little bit panicked, and they're sort of they're moving a little bit into the cattle yard, unfortunately. But as we've talked about here, there's a new variant, which is very scary, and apparently it's like 80% more deadly or something like this. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. Just honestly. So this is going to bring, we've got to expect it's going to bring the fear and anxiety up in people again, because that's their trigger. We know it is. We know how good the mind manipulation is of these people, hence what happened with the mass psychosis. So I am getting these people, it's showing me with their arms like this, all sandwiched into this like cattle yard, but they're not contained. They're just gone into like panic fear mode. So the gate hasn't been shut. They can't get them all back in. There's just a handful that's gone in, meaning we often talk about the third that is still asleep, the third that are waking up, and the third that is us in society. You've sort of got these 3 categories of people at the moment. Well, these are the ones that are fully asleep, that have gone straight back in. Possibly my mother, as we know. She still won't have me in her house in case I give her the terrible virus, as most of you know here. For example, these are the people who are like really sort of standing in there, like and the fear and anxieties come back up in them. So we always knew that was going to happen, but then you've still got the waking up people who are still hesitant about going back into the cattle yards. I just refer to this as cattle yards if anyone's new here. It's just the government trying to round up people again and contain them and get them to do as they're told. So there's still people that are quite hesitant. Let's see where else we go. But I am getting a visual of some. They've managed to contain a small minority of people, cattle, whatever you want to call them. Compliers is another word. Let's see where else we go. God, for some reason I'm getting the word fundraising. Hang on a minute. God, this is ridiculous, isn't it? What they're saying is the governments are starting to fundraise, meaning they're needing the help of the people. Of course they are. They're starting to fundraise. So it's like what they're saying is they're trying to They're trying to manipulate the people to think they're going to get, what they're doing is they're creating systems to get money off the people, again, as we know, to put it into things. So for example, we're going to like put your rates up. This is just an example, but we're really going to improve the infrastructure and the road systems, and we're going to improve everything. So even though everything's going up, as we know, the government is using it like a fundraising setup that we're going to use all that money to improve everything and make your life, yes, better. We know that's what they're trying to do. So this is what they're going to do. They're pretending it's like this, like this is kind of, this is their, is it ideology? What's the word? They're going to try and convince the people that this is like a big fundraising setup where you pay more money, but you're going to reap the outcomes. We know who's going to reap the outcomes, and it's not the people, it's not the little people and the peasants, I always call us. So this is what they're going to do. It's all an illusion of what's going to be happening, that we're, yes, us, little people, are all contributing to a better life. That's what's going to start happening soon. And it's like these fundraising that's kind of how they're going to bring it out as, like we're all fundraising and helping each other. Oh my God. I know it's who the funds are raising for, and it ain't us, is it? Hang on a sec. Let's see where else we go today. God, I am getting Britain again. I'm getting like, this is weird, but I'm getting that Britain is kind of scared of their current leader. I know that sounds hard to believe, isn't it? But you know what it is? It's the instability, and it's the not knowing again. And it's not so much scared. It's more like fear and worry. So it's like, what's going on? Where are we going? I know, Louise, you were chatting about that. It's that uncertainty. Like here we had Boris, who, as much as he was an absolute clown, as we know, we've got Liz Truss. He seems to be even more of a clown. So it's like, how do you regain that stability in Britain and the UK and like these areas? I'm getting that for the people. They're a bit, it's I guess you could say, when I'm getting the word scared for these regions, it's scared of the unknown, because they're not knowing what's going on. And if you think about it, it's like the blind leading the blind. If we think of Liz Truss, well, yes, that does sort of come to mind, doesn't it? It's showing me in Britain, UK, it's like people put a blindfold on, they've tied it on, and then it's like the blind leading the blind. Like no one knows where they're going, and the person leading doesn't know where they're going, meaning, as we know, Liz Truss, if she's still in, we don't know what's going on there. There's a lot going on there. So it's the blind leading the blind. That's the image I'm getting. In other words, no one knows where they're going. No one's feeling sure-footed. No one's feeling steady. At the moment, total instability. That's what I'm getting for that region. Okay, let's see where else we go. God, I'm just getting the fight backs begin. And this is globally. It is. It's globally. But I am getting the strikes. Again. God, I told you how in Australia we've had zillions of strikes. It's all gone quiet at the moment. But we had strikes with nurses, police. We had strikes with everything. Even garbage truck drivers were striking here in Australia. And this was right up to last week. Just one after the other after that. Teachers, another one. I'm sure you guys have had these too. But I'm getting this global striking. There's going to be more and more strikes globally. Actually, there was a documentary here on TV last night, just come on, and I was putting my video up. And it was about the shortage of workers in Australia and how, well, they've got no one to pick all their produce and things like that, because usually we have the farm workers come from overseas and things like that. And even they can't even get local people to pick them. So all the oranges are just falling on the ground, rotting. As we know, a lot of us have talked about the wastage of food. But there's a shortage of food as it's all laying on the ground at the farms. How do people not see this? Is it only us that sees this? You do have to wonder what's going on out there with these people's minds sometimes. Very obvious that there is a big wastage of food. And they were talking about all the like the rural doctors, how there's not enough and they're all short-staffed, and the nurses were getting interviewed and saying how overworked they were. But in the whole show, because I had to watch it just out of curiosity, because, you know, those kind of things intrigue us, what lies they're putting out on TV, mainstream media. And not one mention, not one, of the mandates and how they sacked everybody. Not one. No one talked about, oh, we ostracised and vilified our staff and then they left and never came back. Not a word. So it's like the unspoken, isn't it? Like it never happened. I know you guys talk about that here on my channel a lot. See, swept under the carpet again, put under the tablecloth, whatever you want to call it. But it's all the unspoken. No one wants to, it's that denial. No one wants to admit they made mistakes or that their narrative's wrong. And we know we're not going to get any apologies from like anyone, especially not, you know, the CDC or Pfizer, or we're not going to get apologies, and we already know that here on my channel. So we're not waiting around for that. We've sort of moved on. We're not waiting for those things to happen. So that's what is happening here in Australia. There's a terrible, terrible workers shortage in every avenue. Even teachers. Oh, they were talking about how the amount of teachers have left because they're so stressed. They're all on stress leave and everything. But hello, mandates again. We lost zillions of teachers who'd worked in the industry for like 30 years, as you guys would know, where you guys are, same thing. Just gone to other jobs, not coming back. Would you go back? We wouldn't go back. So, you know, you have got to have a bit of a laugh to yourself really about all this idiotness. So that's what I'm getting. There's going to be more strikes globally, getting back on subject. There's going to be more strikes globally. but these are good. See, that's what the guides have always told us. Strikes are a good way. And strikes also, to us, pretty much, indicate that these people are waking up because they're having to fight back because they're not our fights anymore. See, it's like that video with my sister Karma with Karen. People start to go through similar experiences, and I'm not saying in a negative way. They might experience something similar to what we've been through, but in a different form. It doesn't mean it's all going to be the same. So I might leave that Karma with Karen video over here actually, because I think that's interesting to just know that you can step away and that people have their own sort of karmic journey, and you know, that's theirs to experience. But that's why I'm getting loads and loads of strikes. And this is going to happen globally. Gosh, we've even had the postal strikes, haven't we? We've talked about that here. I think it was in the US, wasn't it? You had the postal strikes. Probably a few other places as well. I'll just see where else we go today. Gosh, I get Ireland, London, Munich. You're coming into your power and your strength now. These people are coming into their power. They're rising up. They've had enough. People have had enough. I mean, how much do you keep taking? Gosh, you know, the old letters keep coming in the mail with the interest rate rises here in Australia. Everyone's getting their letters in the mail. It's going up, 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 up. I'm sure it's happening where you guys are. And if you've got massive mortgages, that means you're being taken down, 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 to the point you're going to have to put the foreclosure sign on your house. We know that's what they're trying to do. All right, let's see if there's anything else today. Gosh, I'm getting this word for some reason, busy streets. Like the streets are really busy. Hang on. Gosh, I am getting France again. Maybe this is what's happening. The streets are really busy. Like maybe people are sort of percolating up. I've talked about how he's hitting France really hard. And the streets are going to become busy with people standing up. Like, God, I hope so. But I am getting the busy streets. And I'm getting that U2 song where the streets have no name. So I'm just getting like visions of people in the streets, and they don't care the name of the streets. Like they're just in the streets. And this is probably people coming out from their houses and finally having their say instead of hiding away. We know how hard it is, don't we, to fight back? But, you know, people are going to get to breaking point with these finances, and they're going to start looking and seeing and finding out the information. So I'm getting that U2 song Where the streets have no name. I love you too. It's such a great song, isn't it? But it's what it's sort of saying is it doesn't matter about the streets or which street we stand up in or march in. It's like that coming together of people. It's irrelevant. It's the coming together of the people, and I am getting that strongly for France. Probably other areas too, but France, I am getting it. Or New Zealand, you're popping up there. Because people are rising above. People are rising above the nonsense. That's what I'm getting. Hang on a sec. I'll see if there's anything else. God, it's just showing me people. It's just the people waking up. Not us. We're removed from all this. We've built our brick wall to muffle the noise. But I am getting these people are carrying huge burdens now. This is the people waking up. It's the burdens of finances, worry, anxiety, stress, and it's not around the jab. This is about everything else. It's showing me them with the really heavy, like, backpack. It's almost like you're watching one of those, what do you call those shows where they do the army training and they're, like, really ruthless, special forces kind of training, and they put those big backpacks on and they often put weights and everything in them. That's what it's showing me. People trying to walk with these big heavy weights. It's the people waking up and they can't do it. They know they're going to have to remove some of the weights out of their backpacks or take the backpacks off. They know they're hitting that crisis point now. This is people waking up, not us. That they're going to have to really start to address things because it's like the bag's pulling them backwards, or they're just going to drop to the ground with these big heavy burdens that they're carrying now. Hang on a sec. Let's see where else we go. Oh, God. They're saying Australia. They're showing me that Australia's, like, fumbling now with change, like, with their coins. Australia's, like, really in debt, apparently. That it's showing me the government, like, counting some coins. Like even things are getting that dire in Australia now, or we knew they were. But they're, like, counting their coins. Like, you know, it's like when you give your kids the lunch money and you divvy it all out to your kids and they just get 50 cents each or whatever. Well, that's what's happening in Australia now. They're divvying out the money in very minimal amounts to the people. Of course. Gee, that's a surprise, isn't it? They'd be getting all the leaders would be getting the big notes, you know, the $100 bills and all that sort of thing. But we're just getting the loose change now. This is the people of Australia. We're being completely rorted and ripped off. I'll see if there's something else to close today. God, they're giving me this saying, like, don't die wondering. I don't think we're going to die wondering because we've tried so hard to let these people know what's going on, haven't we? Hang on a minute. Yeah, I'm just getting this, like, I'm getting images of us, like, it's almost like us, like, taking off and like, floating up, but in a lighter way. Like, this is the image they're giving me, like, don't die wondering. And then it's kind of like our bubbles popped a long time ago. If you think of us in a bubble and our bubbles popped a long time ago, it might have even been, you know, 5 or more years ago, and we floated up. It's like they're showing us sort of swimming in the air. This is all of you watching my channel. And again, we got to have this aerial view of things. Like, it's almost showing us, like, almost semi-flying, but in a really calm and peaceful way. And we're looking at things from above. And I always say that to you guys, that we're able to see things from a higher vantage point because of the way we sense, we feel, we listen, we observe. God, I talk a lot here about body language and observing these leaders and how we can read them sometimes, but we do that through our subconscious mind. We're not even aware of the things that we sense and feel. Sometimes it's a knowing that we have. And so I'm getting us, like, we floated above these things and we had this way of sort of, it's showing us like swimming through the air and being able to see things from that very high vantage point. That's the image I'm getting for us. This happened to us a long time ago. and that became our reality, seeing things from that different vantage point. Hang on, and it's even showing me like the eagle. I'm getting that eagle energy again. I know in America, isn't that one of your symbols? But we're getting this eagle energy where we're able to soar like in the thermals, but we've also got this really good like vision. Eagles are known, aren't they, to just hone in on the tiniest little things, and they can see it, and it like I don't know how it works, but they can see like a tiny little mouse scurrying through a bush or something, and then they can come from miles away and just swoop up and grab it. Well, that's what we're like. We are able to see things from obviously the vantage point. I often talk about us being on the mountaintop and being able to see the 360-degree view. But I'm getting that powerful, strong, but also stable eagle energy today. Oh, the gods. They're giving me the band, the Eagles. Of course they are. We knew we'd get a song. And I'm sure it's Take It to the Limit again. We got that the other day, didn't we? I'm sure the Eagles sing Take It to the Limit. Such a great song. So this is about us. We can take it to the limit. But that's what I'm getting about the eagle. They can just see things. We're just lucky. We have this knowing, we sense, we feel. And that's what I'm going to leave you with today. I'm going to leave you with the image of us floating around like the eagle. Very relaxed, just flying through a thermal. That's where we're at the moment. And if you think about it, if you're up high like that, if anyone's been up high, maybe not in a hot air balloon, because I think they're pretty noisy, aren't they? But it's that at the moment we've got to wear that badge of silence. This is our time for us to be very silent and still. So that's what I'm going to leave you with. I'm going to leave you the Eagle song, Take It to the Limit. The Eagles. They were a great band, weren't they? All right, I'm going to say goodbye from Australia. Take care, everyone. Have a wonderful day. I will talk to you very soon. And don't forget to subscribe, hit the like buttons, guys. Comment. I love hearing from you down below. And I'll say goodbye from Australia. Bye, everybody. Bye.